All right, we are live. We are live. Now okay, to the right, you guys can check the YouTube comments too, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, that's super
Okay.
cool.
Yep. So let me pin the Twitter live.
Okay.
Boom. Okay. And we are live. Yo, 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 yo. This is your boy Awesomeisjayell, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. And today we are live with a new episode of Awesome Interviews with the amazing Soundrig. How's it going, guys?
It's going great, man. Thanks for having us.
Yep, likewise.
You are welcome. First, let's get a round of introductions going. Starting with you, Quentin. Who are you?
Yep. Hey, man. I'm the CEO of Soundrig.
You fancy.
Yeah, and I'm a big, passionate believer in crypto, and I've been really, really intrigued for over the past year of how we can use NFTs and blockchain technology to uh, enhance the music industry. And I mean, I made some stumbles along the way with an old project, but it was a learning experience. And we got the craziest team together, and Soundrig is kicking ass. And let's segue into our big man, Vic.
What's up, Vic? How you doing,
Yo.
man?
So you guys know me as the Hidden Order. Vic is like my pseudonym, but on Soundrig, I'm Timothy Vang. But that's like my doc's name, so you guys can like research me and do your science if you like science. Regardless of that, you guys all know me because I'm super involved with the crowd community, doing a lot of huge things in music, and it just was a good aligning of the stars to get involved with Soundrig, and now I'm head of their marketing, working as their CMO, and we're about to do some amazing things. And I'm also here with my cat. My cat is he just wants to say hi for some reason. He's from Japan.
What's up, Kitty?
Yeah,
What's up,
yeah, yeah.
cat? I'm a cat guy too. I got
Oh,
a
that's
cat.
what's up.
Got a
That's what's
cat.
up.
Probably
He
gonna
loves
get another
interviews.
one.
And yeah, and then just a little word about the rest of the team. So we also got so I'm one of the co-founders. We're three people who started Soundrig. It's myself, Sunny, and Tobias. Sunny has been trying to do something like Soundrig literally since 2011. He had a company. Basically, it was his idea was ahead of was limited by the technology of his time.
Yeah.
So then he started working for Endmaker as a copywriter and got in touch with Tobias, who is the CEO of a web development agency, and that we're working like hand in hand with Endmaker to develop websites and help the mints go successfully for many projects over the past year. And then Tobias got me in touch with Sunny, and yeah, man,
Then the rest was history.
hell yeah.
Okay, so you were saying that Sonny was pretty much going through some trials and tribulations as far as like getting this kind of technology out. Was that like in the Web 2.0 days, I presume?
Yeah, so I mean, 2011, he had this concept. He can explain it better, maybe another time. But essentially, he lives in a town where there's a lot of musicians, and a lot of them were getting screwed. Just for one reason or another, they couldn't get attraction or something. And him and his friend were like came up with this plan to kind of create a disruptive technology which could help change the music industry. They tried making it work, and then ultimately they came to a point where they were like, people don't understand what we're trying to do, and the tech we're trying to develop just isn't feasible right now. So then it was about a year ago that he started realizing like NFTs are this technology that we've been trying to do to use for the company. And I mean, the company dissolved and everything, but his company literally was called Soundrig 11 years ago, and
Oh
we've
wow.
we've revived it because I love the name. The name is symbolizing like an oil rig where they drill down they get like a raw material, and then they refine it and provide a platform for it to become very valuable. So we want to do the same thing with the music industry. We want to go in communities around the world, get musicians from the communities from Web 2, provide them a platform that they can excel and become stars.
Okay. That's
man.
great. That's amazing, man. That's an amazing story. Kind of sort of like a revival story, like a comeback story. That's amazing. It just really truly goes to show how far ahead of his time you guys really were. For him to do something like that 11 years ago, that is amazing. So let's give people a general breakdown of what Soundrig is.
So, I mean, at its most basic level, I would say we are a music distribution service, but that's not doing it justice. We are really trying to create kind of a new music ecosystem, a whole new music market. The first thing that we have done, because we're really trying to leverage blockchain technology to allow musicians to, make the lion's share of, I'm getting a lot of feedback or something. Get like the lion's share of
there's
funding.
something in my background. Let me mute my mic.
Okay. But yeah, so the lion's share of the revenue, whereas in the traditional industry, they get peanuts. And so we're trying to do that. We're using blockchain technology to provide instantaneous, royalties payments and revenue payments, full transparency, and much easier kind of ownership and public like proof of ownership and stuff. So in terms of like Web3, we've identified a couple problems to getting musicians on board. And the first thing that we saw was the music experience on Web3 sucks. To listen to your music is a pain in the ass. So the first thing we decided to do is let's build a media player. So that's what we've done. I mean, you can go to soundrig.io and check our media player, connect your wallet, and listen to your music. It's all on the same screen. It's no more going to pool.pm, clicking a link, going to another link, playing it, closing it, opening a new song. It's just, that's a pain in the ass. And we're going to be going towards mobile because, most of the world has mobile phones. So that's where we will be going. But the media player was our first step. Then we're going to be doing a launch pad. So these musicians that we're onboarding, we're going to be like the site that is the primary sales for them. And then we're going to be doing a music marketplace, and we got a ton more down the road too that's planned.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds absolutely amazing. Of course, I'm on board the initiative. I love what you guys are bringing. I love some of these innovative ideas that you guys have as far as bringing music into Web 3.0 and also improving the listening experience. I would have to say, let me ask you a question, right? So how has the experience been as far as integrating within the Web 3.0 community? And what I mean from that, from the perspective of how's the progress going when it comes to Web 3.0 music altogether? Like, where do you think we are in the cycle of it? Because of course it's not mainstream. We're far off from kind of being mainstream, but I just wanted to, kind of see where do you think we are as far as Web 3.0 music? And I don't just mean on Cardano, I just mean in general.
I mean, the very, 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 very beginning, man. I mean, our goal is to make it mainstream. I mean, I'm doing something where I'm registering to be an ISRC manager, which is basically an identifier that you put into songs so that you can track them and get them onto charts and stuff. But I mean, we've seen it every step of the way with when a new kind of music distribution method comes out, it takes the music industry sometimes years to adapt to it. And actually, that
Decades.
yeah, I mean, when it went from like
Crazy.
CDs, I mean, I might be misspeaking a bit here, but it was something CDs to digital. I believe it was something like 5 years for it to get really recognized. And I mean, I hope it's not that long, but we're going to be doing everything possible to keep it compliant. And where we are in Web3 with music right now is just a phenomenal space. I mean, the every musician sees the benefit and the potential, and the atmosphere with the musicians who are already in Web3 is uh it's incredible. I mean, anyone who we've talked to who has been through the music industry, the first thing they say is, man, it's cutthroat. And I would say, dude, I tell them, I'm like, I've talked to hundreds of musicians who are in Web3, and I've seen zero of that. Everyone is willing to help each other out, work together to, make a best product that they can, share their techniques, share their stems, do whatever, man, so that everyone can excel. And I really hope we can keep that momentum and that positivity, because I mean, that's horrible that the first thing people say is like, this industry is cutthroat. Like, people can be really, really bad to each other. And it's like, man, we're here to work together to, we'll achieve success together. It's not like we want to succeed on your backs or anything. It's like, we want you to succeed, and a byproduct of your success is our success.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Because I can tell you firsthand, just to agree with what you're saying as far as collaboration goes. As a solo artist, my first real collaboration was really with the Web 3.0 community. Because there's another layer of actually getting to know each other. And it seems kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird, but the thing is like, in real life, you have to kind of like surf this wave, and you got to surf this wave of people that you don't necessarily connect with, and you got to go through these different trials and tribulations and relationships before you actually get to an actual partnership or a collaboration that you actually would like to do. You know what I mean? And so Web 3.0 is like cutting through all of that, and it's getting you to exactly where you need to be. You know what I mean? And that's what's amazing about it. What's up, Vic? Hey, Vic, do you have anything to add? What do you think about that? What do you think about everything that's going on within Web3 music right now?
Okay. So for the Cardano ecosystem specifically, we are still really brand new. We don't even have a marketplace yet for our musicians. Ethereum, Polygon, I like to see it at a bigger landscape, because my vision is always 30 years out. Ethereum, Polygon, they're miles ahead of us, especially with the quality and the musicians, also Solana too. So if we are starting Cardano because this is kind of our home and we want to keep growing in our home environment, this is our hometown. So we still have a lot to work to do, I think, personally. But I think the coolest thing is the community atmosphere that we already have brewing, and how people are really connecting and building their own music communities, like the Listening Room and CNFT Audio. And now they're building organically. That's the coolest thing ever. And I think most likely we can see us evolve to the level of Ethereum in probably the next 3 years, even faster, based on the rate of 1 year since smart contracts got launched. So I think we got a lot of room to grow right now, but our future is bright for now if we can keep all working together. So that's just small talk. I think when it comes to it, just overall sphere, I think just super excited just to be a part of this community, honestly.
Yeah, same here. And it's funny that you actually brought up the level of Ethereum and Solana. Just from everything that I've kind of experienced concerning Solana and Ethereum, even though they may be a bit more polished, from what I'm seeing, they're not exactly mainstream musically yet as well. So that is also another layer. You know what I mean? So I'm really looking at that like, oh man, like it's like it's far off. Like people, one of the main things that I'm seeing, and I'm actually going to ask this as a question. One of the main things I'm actually seeing is that people are not looking at music NFTs is valuable, because they can't flip them. You know, they can't flip them. They can't flip them, and they have to play the long game. They got to play the long game. They got to wait for the artist to actually, build a catalog, form some partnerships, and increase the invisibility of his brand. What are some of the things that what are some of the things that you guys have going on to where you could help alleviate that a little bit?
So, Vic, if you don't mind, I'll answer this, and we
Yep.
can talk about what
I'll just second piece of it too, because the
Yeah.
main thing that you can add, Quinn, is probably the technology that we have.
Yeah. So I mean, the first thing is we're going to be going cross chain. So our media player is going to provide a tool for anyone because this is a problem that's on all chains. I mean, there's Audius right now, but that's a closed market. So you have your NFTs or your music, whatever, on Audius, and you can only use it on Audius. That's not our goal. Our goal is to provide a service to allow the Web3 community to enjoy music. So our goal is to go cross-chain, get any chain that has music, integrate them into our media player, so you can listen to your music in a familiar fashion, similar to iTunes, YouTube Music, whatever. And that's one of the first things. Second thing, NFTs not being valuable, the music not being valuable. There's so many ways to add value, but also the thing about music is it's a universal language, man. And you look at the music industry, iTunes alone made 10 billion in revenue last year. There's no value in the music that they're selling other than the song and the enjoyment. So I think that the problem that people are looking at is the existing community in crypto. It's all people who are flippers, investors, whatever. And it's not people who are there who are passionate about that music. So we are, as I said, we're trying to build a new music market, like a whole ecosystem. So one of the things that we are doing is we are like putting a crazy emphasis on onboarding Web2 musicians, and a consequence of that will be onboarding their communities. So let's say like we have an artist coming from Jamaica who has 197,000 followers on Twitter, and he'll be releasing music with us that maybe, even if 10% of those people want to buy his song on Soundrig, that's 19,000 people who would never have been into music on Web3 otherwise. So then we are going to be helping to catalyze this new reaction of people coming onto Web3 for music. I think music is going to be actually one of the best and easiest factors to achieve kind of universal adoption, because it's a universal language. I mean, we've been talking to people who are receiving music actually from some people in Africa. I don't understand a word of what they're saying, but dude, I've been blasting it because it's so nice. It's so catchy. And in that regards, I think that's something, and something that is to think about is like, it's not just the community that's here, because we haven't achieved mass adoption. We have NFTs are a fraction of the global market caps of all these chains, and the coins are a fraction of the global market cap of the economy. So, I mean, you got a fraction of a fraction, and that's how you're basing your stuff. So I think we are thinking ahead and are trying to create a whole new, consumer base, essentially.
Yeah. One thing that you said that it kind of struck a chord with me was the whole thing about interoperability. Operability between chains and cross chains. Once you said that, I automatically thought like, oh, okay, so that automatically increases the pool, the market. Yep. Increases the market exponentially. We're not just talking about NFTs on Cardano. We're talking about all the NFTs within the market. So let me ask this question: is the interoperable marketplace, so you will be able to buy these NFTs and trade these NFTs in market then, right? Sort of like a seamless marketplace, like an NFT marketplace, but it's basically kind of like OpenSea, how they have multiple NFT multiple blockchains. but you'll be able to trade directly on site, but it will be music.
Yeah, so I mean,
Okay.
our first step is, because there's starting on Cardano, there's a lot of hurdles to go cross chain.
Yeah.
The first step for us, because the process we use, the easiest thing to do, and we actually have Catalyst funding asking, currently going for Fund 9 to help finance this expansion, is to include these other chains into our media player. And that's just going to be to kind of, get people's foot in the door, so that we could have, Ethereum, Polygon, Tezos, Solana incorporated, who have much bigger music communities. And then they'll be coming to Cardano to listen to their music. And then, vicariously, it's not vicariously. I keep on saying that. Like secondhand, they might discover the musicians that are on our marketplace or whatever. The end goal for us will be that we'll have a marketplace where, you can do a launch from your, let's say you had a song that you're putting out. You could launch it and accept payments from any chain. And let's say you paid with Ethereum, it would make an ERC20, or if you did paid with Cardano, it would make a Cardano token. That's our goal, is to make it so it'd be kind of that, because music is music, man. And we don't want to have these borders. The Web3 music community needs to be united if we are going to be a disruptor, because as a whole, we have to do something to disrupt the music industry and provide a uniform front so that they have to take notice. Because if we together are working, hand in hand to create a big service or whatever, a community that is taking a significant amount of their market cap, they're going to have to change their game. And just to get Vic in on this, we're going to be doing a lot of things to provide opportunities and exposure to our musicians, and I'll let him talk about that.
Yeah, so we get the tech side. My brain, my huge marketing mind is focused on the musician side, because a lot of us are, well, I know I am, are an independent musician, and we're trying to build a platform built by independent musicians. A lot of us, Quentin, he's classically trained violinist, doesn't want to talk about it. He's probably a little rusty now since he's been, been doing that, thingy. But, and then, I think it's super cool seeing us all come together, having a big passion for music. And like, I think I spoke to you, kind of give you a little leaks of what we're trying to do, but I think our goal is to do a Soundrig music festival, and we're gonna be focusing on Florida, because we got some amazing contacts in Tampa that are connected with, we essentially have a facility there that's willing to just work with us. They're renovating a whole mall, become a tech hub, and we're gonna eventually have pretty much, we have 100 acres to do a giant music festival. And it's right next to, within walking distance of the University of Tampa, University of South Florida. So we're mostly focused on our target audience. I think we're mostly focused on, obviously, a lot of our core audience, 35 and up, but we also focused on the newer audience, which is the new college, millennial, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y, whatever the next letter is, Gen was after Z, X-ray. Just kidding. We love all you guys. You guys are all amazing, beautiful beings. And so basically our goal is to target the people that are already in crypto, which are basically the 25 and under audience. And they're going to be huge, because they're going to be new fan base that are going to want to get involved, and they are more technically savvy, and it's going to be easy for them. Okay, cool. Let me open my Coinbase account, because they already have a Coinbase account. They just need to get involved with the music that we're building with you guys. And when it comes to marketing, people don't really understand what it means and what it is. The whole idea is to grow your brand awareness, whether it's your personal brand or who you are. And our vision, because I'm an independent musician, I know exactly what is required for us to grind and hustle to get our music out there. And I understand that. And you wish you had someone looking out for you. And that's why we're here. We're here to look out for you. We're really not focused. Yes, we want to grow Soundrig NFT, but we know the power is within the community and the artist itself. You guys are the ones we're mostly going to be focused on. So we're going to be helping you build your personal brand. And that's going to be all for you if you're already a part of Soundrig or you're trying to build with Soundrig. Like, we are going to be there for you, whether it's going to be on the ground. Hey, I need to figure out how to build my social medias. We'll be there. Okay, cool. How do I get my people, get an event going on? Don't worry about that. We're going to cover you on that part, because that's a lot of my background is event management and throwing huge festivals and events. And when we do finally get to the point where we can actually throw a Web3 music festival, Soundrig Music Festival, obviously the artists that have grown with us from the very beginning are probably going to be our main priorities. So if you're on our platform now is a good time for you to just slowly keep growing your catalog, but also work with us as we grow our platform. That way, when we get to the point where it's, hey, I remember you from way back then, we're about to build and launch our web music festival. We need to build a lineup. You guys ready? That way we can use our marketing dollars to promote you guys as the stars, because that's our goal. Because we know building your personal brand is going to be what's going to be overall more impactful for us. Because if we invest in you guys as the artists, you guys will repay that 10 times fold, because you guys understand how hard it is to build. And I've been there. I'm still in that grinding mode as an independent musician. And I don't think anyone's focused on that. Everyone's platform, to be honest, this is just straight truth. They're focused on getting the celebrities on there. They want to bring the biggest artists on their platform. We don't care about that. We care more about building you guys, which is very unique. But I think our focus is if we treat the people right and bring the right energy and the right, focus, people are going to understand our philosophy and our vision with that, which is, I think that resonates with a lot of people. And as me, as a musician myself, that resonates with me, that, hey, we're here to treat and take care of you guys. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And that's how I got involved. And I know you're a musician, guys, so you tell me your thoughts on it.
I think everything you just said was amazing. Like that was great communication. Like, if you guys went to trial, you should be the one talking, like, for the musicians, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I 100% relate. Like you said, the grind is so tedious when it comes to the independent music grind. And essentially everything that you're saying is pretty much, hey, let's do this together. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
hey, yeah, it's like, okay, we got this producer, we got this violinist, we got all these different sectors, and we bring everyone together and we move as a unit, and we say, oh, okay, we're all partnered with Soundrig. You know what I mean? And that's amazing. And that is very smart. It's very smart to do, especially when you already within Web 3.0. We're already starting off with a leg up, just from the community perspective, right? I never had this kind of community as a independent musician ever, like in life. Ever.
Me neither.
Yeah, so it's amazing that I can call Vic and I can say, hey, Vic, how's it going with how's it going with DJing, man? How's it going with Ableton or whatever you're working on? You know what I mean? Just to have that is amazing. Like, it's amazing just to have that alone. And then Soundrig comes and you say, oh, let's all come together, guys, and do this thing together. That's amazing. That's all we ever wanted from the beginning. You know exactly. What I mean?
And another thing too, you didn't realize this too, but we are super heavily involved in the Cardano community ecosystem. I remember on a Twitter space, you were like, I'm gonna go play a CNFT class. Like, oh, are you? Because I'm coordinating it. we haven't talked about it yet.
That was so fun. Yeah, that was funny. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm super deep. Like, if you don't know, like, I'm deep with some famous people, but not that famous. I'm more focused on you guys, which is a different approach, right? I don't want to toss any blame and stuff like that. Everyone is doing amazing, all this stuff, but because of me being a musician, being deep in Cardano itself, like, I love music and it's my passion, and I will take care of you guys. And so if you guys don't believe me, I think my history on the Cardano ecosystem has spoken for itself, and my reputation has spoken for itself. And I think if you guys really, really want somewhere to be, we need your help to grow Soundrig and be a part of it. And additionally as well too, yeah, I am super deep. So if you guys are trying to go to CNFTCon and play, there, you guys need to talk to me. As well, because I'm also part of Soundrig, we're gonna be slowly. You'll see this giant spider web trail I've been creating, and now it's gonna all start connecting the dots, and it's starting to connect your dots in your heads now too. But like, yeah, it's gonna be amazing when we can finally say, hey, CNFT Con, we're throwing a music festival actually at CNFT Con, so you guys down? Just saying, if that's a thing that happens, I'm not saying it could happen, maybe it does happen. Soundrig will be there full front, and people won't be expecting that because this is the only place you could hear it. So if you reach the 29-minute and 55-minute mark, you actually watched all the way through, which I hope you do. Get the audience retention in. You're gonna be like, oh shoot, there's some nuggets here. Maybe I should actually listen. And the true people that are into music and that's their passion, they are amazing for audience retention. So
definitely. And another thing that I like too as well is not only are you guys have the musicians back, but also I'm starting to see these different music NFT protocols and marketplaces coming together as well. You know, Quentin actually sent me an invite to a Twitter Spaces, Twitter Spaces with Firebird Media and a couple of other people. So yeah, it's cool that the marketplaces are coming together as well. You know what I mean? To build a solid infrastructure just for the music NFTs in general. So I think that's cool as well.
I would just like to add it, dude. I mean, we can't do it all, and it's redundant for us to do stuff that other people are already doing, and they're giving it 100%. So why not work with them? I mean, that's our philosophy. If you're doing something, I mean, Firebird's a great example. They're doing sync licensing stuff. I mean, that's a huge thing for musicians. So why not? We would definitely. I've talked to Kula a lot, and I would love to work with him with Soundrig. There's a couple other projects that we're working with too to offer additional services to the fans and to the musicians that will greatly increase the benefit of why they should buy an NFT. Just going back to your question there, it's just something that slips my mind sometimes because it's just a part of Soundrig. But something we've developed is actually encrypted NFTs. This is not done anywhere on Cardano. So not only did we develop the first music media player, we've also developed the first encrypted NFTs. So, I mean, you can pirate, but you can't pirate in the same sense that you can't, tell people your pool.pm, your wallet address, they go listen to all your songs. You have to own the song, the NFT, to get access to the music. And a big part of the products that we are pushing out, which actually we are calling tunes, so TUN3Z, because they're Web3 music tunes. A big part of that is you're not just buying a song and an artwork. You're buying additional content that is included in your NFT, which is the goal of it is to create kind of a more personal connection with your fan base. And so if you can, an example you can think of is kind of the old school DVDs. When you go buy a movie, there'd be all this stuff. There'd be like little games you could play. There'd be directors, commentary. There'd be bloopers. There'd be whatever. So we want to include that type of stuff. So, I mean, you can think because it's encrypted, we can do things like include concert tickets. Well, you can't do that with current NFTs because someone could go to your wallet, use your ticket under your name, right, as the owner. But with our encrypted NFTs, you can't do that. You have to physically open the media player, have the concert ticket open, and boom, that's a whole thing that can't really be done very effectively right now. We can do it. So you could do that. You could do discounts on merch. You can do stems for your song so people could remix your song. Interviews, live recordings of live performances, you name it. The sky is the limit. We want to include it in our music. And so again, it is a longer play, but let's say, for instance, you did a collection of 1,000 NFTs with all this exclusive content. And let's say 2-3 years down the road, you blew the fuck up. You are huge. Well, these 1,000 NFTs, they're going to be valuable not just because of the song, whatever, but they're going to be valuable because they're the only source of this additional content. It's going to be exclusive. That is essentially private. So you're gonna have like a limited collector's edition type of thing. And I mean, you see this in the real world with companies like Discog, where people are buying records from bands and stuff for thousands and thousands of dollars. And this is existing. I mean, people are swapping and buying CDs, cassettes, and vinyls, particularly because they're kind of a collector's item. And this is like the next step in that, in my opinion, is these tunes, which are going to be collector's items, but also you're going to get value by enjoying them in the short term and easily enjoy them.
Man, you just said something that was mind blowing. It's so many ideas just popped into my head. Like as soon as you start talking about how encryption would allow us to increase the value of the package itself, that is amazing. Cause I didn't even think about it like that, but it will, I do a thing where when I release albums, I like to release short films because I'm a director and
beautiful.
I'm a director as well, and I do my own short films. And that would be amazing for something like that, especially on the blockchain. And it's like, oh, here's the album, and then the short film is directly below it, or that is amazing. And it only being a limited supply that you can only get through Soundrig, that is amazing. That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. And the beauty of it also is in the current format of how we look at these NFTs. If you were to do that, just forget the encryption. If you were to do that, it looks really messy. When you go to pool.pm, you just see like just a wall. Basically, it looks like you're on a web page. But when you go to our media player, it's like, Awesomeisjayell, and then your name of your song, and it's like a drop down. So it's like lyrics, video, short film, whatever. And it's all there, and it's all accessible on the media player. And that's already built in. We can already do that. We can already play videos. You could put music videos behind the scenes of the music video. I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. And even because I've already played with the music media player, it's amazing because everything is more personal than an iTunes or a Spotify. It's more personal because it's like once you go into that media player and you click the artist, you just see everything that the artist created, and that is amazing. That's amazing because it's usually separated in some kind of way. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that is amazing. I did have another question. Oh yeah, I had a question about the policy ID. Okay, so policy ID, right? And this is actually this is like a simple question. But what if we were releasing music under a certain policy ID number, and then we wanted to come to Soundrig and we wanted to continue releasing music under that same policy ID number? Would that be a problem or issue?
That's not a question I've even considered, to be honest with you. I don't have an answer. I'm not the tech type of guy for that answer.
Usually, you kind of have to create your own policy ID.
Okay.
It's very difficult from what I've seen, to import policy IDs, especially unless you're doing how JPEG Store did when they did their coding, is you kind of have when you verify and then you register it, right? So that would be an option to register if that's what you're trying to do. That would be an option. I think we still got to figure out if we can do it, because it's something that obviously looks like when we didn't think about because
a large part of it would be including the additional content. And so if you're already doing a policy which is how we're doing music right now, you're going to lose that, right? And so I don't have an answer. But
it would be better to open a new policy ID because you'll be able to take advantage of more of the perks.
So like one of those perks is including an ISRC code, because anyone who launches with us is going to get an ISRC as long as you have not already registered your song with ISRC and ISWC, which we're going to work on, but our priority is ISRC, we'll issue ISRCs for your songs. And so we will be keeping track, we'll be keeping data of, plays on our media player. And we have a future stream to earn service, which it's not the Spotify model, but it's something else is pretty cool. And that's also going to be play an impact on how we record data so that we can submit it to the music industry. So you could, like, our goal is to have a music NFT appear on the charts. Like, that's our dream, is eventually to get that point where, like, yeah, you're on the charts, maybe, and it's not even that hard. I mean, considering the volume of sales for NFTs, it's something like 8,000 sales to get like top 20 on a lot of music charts. I mean, okay, that is a lot, but it's not unachievable. And if you think we are getting a lot of blockchains involved, like just on Cardano, it's a lot. But if you got Ethereum, you got, Tezos, you got Polygon, that's a much bigger market and much more achievable that you could get stuff like that happening. And that would be absolutely mental for us if we could get our musicians popping up on charts. And also talk about adoption. That's you can't ask for better publicity than getting a song mainstream. It doesn't matter if no one's heard of it. Be like, wow, who is this guy? And then they'll find out, like, they'll Google the song and be like, whoa, it's on Soundrig. What's Soundrig? And then, oh, it's Web3. What's Web3? And then, there you go, dude. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah. That's definitely a great scenario. That is a great scenario. Man, I might be out of questions. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay. NFTs. Do you guys have any plans to launch any NFTs outside of the music artists on Soundrigs?
So actually, this was one of the things we decided very early on. And it's one of the reasons we are going really big in Catalyst, is because, two things. So it's really cool that our team all feels the same way. There was literally no problems and no objections. We are pretty firm on no for having a token or our own NFT. And we wanted to get a product out prior to asking for any money, because a huge problem we have is a lot of these projects are raising a mind-blowing amount of money, and the deliverable is a year or two out of, away. And we've priced everything out. We are able to get our media player to, show we're freaking serious, man. Like, we got that done in 2 months, I think. And we busted our asses to get that done. And we wanted to show the community that we are freaking serious, and we are committed to, community first. So that's why we're going through Catalyst. We have like our 4 proposals, and we're asking for money to help build our build, the whole idea, help fund the cross chain, and then also help expand in Africa and East Asia. And so instead of doing a token sale where you have to, every future update, you have to be thinking, how is this going to affect our price? We don't want that, because we have a core philosophy that we want to do something that's going to change the industry so that musicians are central. You guys, everything we do is with the goal of providing the best service and best outcomes to our musicians. So when you have a token or an NFT, you have to think, well, shit, this idea we want to do, it will be really good for the musicians, but it might tank, the token price. We don't want to be in that dilemma. So that's why we are just using the chain token. So right now it's ADA. We'll be functioning with ADA, and that's something we don't have to focus on. We don't have to focus on, maintaining value of these additional things. And if we can get the Catalyst funding, there is literally no reason for us to do that, because we'll be doing things. I mean, we'll be doing things that have utility, like concert tickets eventually and stuff, but we're not going to go do some random NFT that people will buy because of, whatever. But we really want to add real value of anything we release. And when we have these amazing grant programs like Catalyst, there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, dealing with that type of pressure, and yeah, that is a double-edged sword, trying to maintain the value of said NFT, and then you're offering this the utilities as a solution as a solution to the problem of holding value, when it comes to the NFT. So yeah, that's very smart. That was definitely a great idea, to do it the way that you guys are doing it, providing the value first, in all ways, really, so yeah, I applaud you guys. That was a great idea. All right. So now I'm really out of questions. So
I can
before we
talk a bit
close,
more. I mean, if you want, I can talk a bit more. We didn't even cover the whole concept.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
dude,
yeah.
I mean,
What
so well, firstly, the Catalyst proposals, these are huge. And so like building our company brand, whatever product, is not exclusively reliant on the Catalyst funding, but getting this Catalyst funding is something that could make it, this Soundrig as a whole, it could be the difference from having like essentially a revolutionary music platform and distribution service, up and running within, like, let's say 6 months to maybe, a year or two, because we'll be having to bootstrap everything together. And of course, we are going to be reinvesting every penny we make to get this project going, because this is literally beyond a passion project. It's like our goal. And I mean, we've done a lot of research on, what people need and what people want, and that's why we chose to do this like cross-chain thing, because you're going to include everyone. All of our concepts for Soundrig, it's a conglomeration of a lot of ideas that we've seen some people doing where they're succeeding and then failing in some areas. So you take what everyone's doing that's working and get it in one package, one area, and be us developing it or incorporating these other projects. That's our goal. And then, as I said, we're getting community artists from the communities around the world. So we have established an ambassador program. So we have people on the ground around the world recruiting. I don't have the list with me right now, but we are in 14 countries already. Like, we're in Ireland, UK, Poland, crap, I can't remember the
Dubai,
company.
Indonesia, Japan.
South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Colombia, Portugal. I mean, dude, you name it. We have people recruiting good artists. And like, for instance, we've recently partnered with a refugee camp in Kenya, and it's crazy. It's a community of 200,000 people.
Wow.
And they have a huge music community. And so for us, like, changing the industry by offering these increased revenues and exposure and opportunities to our musician, we are thinking of, like, when we get big, this could be huge around the world. I mean, communities in developing countries often don't get the funding they need. If, let's say, there's a musician in Africa, they might be getting ripped off horribly. But by leveraging Web3 technology, you're paying that person directly, which is insane. So let's say in a scenario where we got as big as iTunes, we had 10 billion in revenue. That's $8 billion we are redistributing directly to musicians. And like, we could literally be one of the largest factors for like distribution of wealth in the world, because we could be issuing, tens of millions of dollars directly to communities around the world and developing nations. So I mean, if you take the example of Africa, $10, one NFT sale goes a way longer than it does, way further than it does here. Like $10 here, I mean, you buy a coffee, depending where you're living in the States. But over there, I mean, in some of these countries, the average person's making dollars, if even, a day. So you're giving $10 and you could be changing someone's life for a week, and you get a sellout collection, and they have all of a sudden become like rock stars in their communities. And that's just insane. Like, you could be changing people's lives in ways we cannot literally not imagine, because we are living in a different reality where, you know, the middle class is achieving these salaries. But in developing nations, people firstly don't have access to you know, music services, recording studios. These guys in Kenya, their studio is so cool because it's like MacGyver. Like, there's one computer the whole community uses. They have one microphone. There's like egg carton stuff on the wall, and then there's some sound dampening boards on the wall. It's cool, and they're doing really good music, and they're getting good products out there. And this leads me to another thing we're doing, where we actually want to open up a charity part of our company, which will be we're tentatively calling it Adopt a Country. And basically the goal would be that people could donate directly to, let's say, Kenya, and we would establish like a recording studio, a photography studio, and anyone who wants to launch with Soundrig gets free access. Not only that, they would also have 100% ownership of their music. Like, we literally want to do this to make sure everyone in the world has an opportunity to make music, good quality music, good quality videos, everything. And so that we can help people around the world excel. And so, yeah, we're doing like a charity. Also with that aspect, we will be, as Vic kind of touched on, you know, contacting, getting the next generation. We want to be doing programs where, you know, last year students in universities, so in like media departments and graphic design departments, can have an option to do an accredited project where they are working with musicians who, you know, not all musicians are graphic design artists or have access to a good artist. So we can, you know, allow for this collaboration of these students who are in this profession, who need to build portfolios, who need exposure, and they will help our musicians get better products. So this is something else we're trying to do. So we already have one partnership with a university, the University of Bedfordshire, and that's with their media studies department. So for instance, if a UK artist wanted to do an interview or something, you have students who are literally studying to do this type of thing, and will be able to help build their academic portfolios and professional portfolios at the same time as, you know, getting their studies done, and hopefully providing a much better product than otherwise available to these musicians. And then, so our stream to earn service, I'll drop some alpha here. The idea is that essentially it would be a radio. And so you get played on the radio, you do nothing on your end. You don't need to do anything as a musician, but we can get things like ad revenue. So ad revenue would be distributed to any of the musicians who are played during that hour. And we'll be getting some type of voting system. So actually the community will be involved in selecting who plays on the radio, and there'll be rewards multiple times per day to pay back to the community, and the community who engages and votes, as well as who is listening. And
who will have voting power within the community? Would this be the actual artist or buyers of the NFTs?
Anyone. So you want to hear this song, you can listen to this song, you vote. And that then, so you can make an algorithm. So like, let's say the top 100 songs have priority to play within the next 24 hours. The 20% of all songs that play every hour are going to be, new releases. You can do crazy stuff and allow for exposure. And we're already working with actually with a number of metaverses to integrate this radio station into the metaverses. So you're talking about Web3. Wow, dude, the goal for a lot of Web3 is to go into metaverse. So, I mean, talk about exposure. That's where we think the next version of the internet's going to be. We're trying to get ahead of the curve. So, I mean, that's one of the things we're trying to do is get this stream to earn service where musicians earn kind of passive income.
No, to make it easy for people to understand, imagine playing GTA 5 online, but the radio is your music.
Yeah,
that's the best way I can explain it.
That's the example I used when I was trying to pitch this idea to the team. It was like, I literally used to drive around for hours just listening to GTA. I didn't care about the game. I literally was just on the highway going as fast as I can, but trying to hit people and just songs I never listened to, like the one with the horse with no name and going through the desert, whatever. The radio stations were sick. And if we could replicate that with our Web3 music, dude, that's a whole nother level, man.
Yeah, it is. I agree. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. What are you guys' sources of revenue? Like, basically, how are you guys gonna make money with your business model?
Yeah, man. I mean, initially we have the more we develop, like the more we put out, the more revenue streams we're gonna have. So initially, our primary revenue income source is going to be our cut from sales from NFTs. So we take a 20% cut, and that's including minting fees and everything. And then, as it grows, pretty much standard is we're going to be trying to take 20% of stuff. So the radio, 20% of ad revenue we'll be taking. We're going to be offering a really cool service. I'm actually have a meeting in half an hour with the team to hopefully put the announcement out, but it's going to be a service that is going to kind of break down a lot of barriers, and we'll take 20% of that. Idea is we are maintaining sustainability while still providing max benefit to the musician. So let's say ticket sales, 20%, 80% still going to musician. Obviously these are tentative numbers, but everything we've calculated is indicating this is totally realistic. And it's a model which, again, as I said earlier on, will allow us to succeed once our musicians succeed. So it's self-motivating to ensure that our musicians succeed and achieve their max potential, because we're not asking for 90% of revenue, some crazy ass number. We want essentially the bare minimum to maintain our services and, take a little bit of profit. And so doing things like getting the Catalyst funding, it allows us, again, to keep this kind of model, as opposed to like if you get VCs involved or a token sale, you can't do this type of thing because you gotta be super, super profitable. So yeah, I mean, initially it's our cut of the pie and from sales that we are launching, and it's going to rapidly expand.
Okay. I heard you say once the artist succeed. Well, I just want to propose a scenario. What if the artist doesn't succeed? When you say succeed, do you mean by way of consistency, or do you mean by way of, hey, we put this artist out, they mentioned through us, and the sales didn't do what we wanted it to do? Then how would you guys address that type of situation, or how would you move forward with that artist? I know typically in this day and age with a record label, not saying that you guys are a record label, but I'm saying with the record label, they would try artists out. If it didn't work, then they would drop the artist.
Dude, so as you say, we are not a record label. We have signed no contracts with anyone. The only contracts we actually sign are, just explaining what this whole process is. And an agreement for the ISRC stuff, because that's, you know, very legit and very strict. You aren't signed to us or anything. We are doing this service basically, like, I mean, not every song that released on iTunes is a hit, but we're going to be doing more than what iTunes does. We'll be promoting you. We'll be doing things. We want to get a podcast going. We'll be interviewing our musicians on the podcast. We will be promoting you, and we'll be offering musicians opportunities, like the live performances or metaverse performances or whatever. And I mean, I guess the most real answer is you'd have to evaluate why this person didn't succeed. Is their music good? It should be, because that's how we are kind of gating it. We're not accepting anyone just, you know, whatever. We're doing quality control at this stage, at least. So I mean, if someone is releasing some really crappy stuff, you know, maybe it will be a sign, or maybe we'll tell them, like, dude, redo this, you know, or whatever. But no, man, we're here for the musicians. So if it's viable, we will help you every step of the way. Branding, marketing, as best as we can. We are there for our musicians.
Okay. That's great. That's great. That's definitely great. That's great. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you pretty much put that message out there. Because you definitely want to be clear about that message. Because you will get swarmed with with a lot of different artists. You know what I mean? And quality control is definitely very important. Like you said, especially initially. Yeah. It's very
I mean,
important.
we literally are like reviewing. We've already had to go back for the additional content, go back to a couple of musicians and be like, dude, you need to redo this. It's not going to work. Like, that's not up to our standards. Like, you need to redo this, because we want them to succeed. And I mean, also you have to factor in, this is like the very, very, very beginning of music. So I'm not expecting sellouts. It's going to be, you know, a curve where we have a slow sales. I'm not unrealistic in that. We're not unrealistic in that. It's going to be slow, but the idea is, by getting these Web 2 musicians, you're bringing on a whole new fan base. And essentially, you're bringing on people who don't really care about how the market's doing, and they're just there for the music. So they might not even care that this musician has sold 10 out of 1,000 NFTs. They'll be like, his song is dope. Like, I just want to listen to it. And that's a whole new thing that no one has kind of done before. Like, obviously we don't know how it's going to go, but I mean, we are just trying to make it so that we're building a platform that musicians can excel and fans can come to get more bang for their buck, I guess. And you're going to be going there for your music. That's also the whole reason we wanted to do a music marketplace, is because it's super difficult to get sales on secondary as a musician, because people have to find out you're there, because you're on JPEG Store, where you're combating with huge PFP projects. And if you have a marketplace exclusively for music, the only people who are going there are people who want music. So you're facilitating consumer, you know, acquisition and sales. So I mean, I think that's one of the things. You gotta create kind of a center point for music to flourish.
Definitely. I agree. Another question I have is, so how often are you guys planning on updating your infrastructure? Like, do you guys have like a periodic time that you guys say, hey, we're going to refresh and update everything? As far as like, you know, because I kind of look at right now, what you guys have right now is like the first version of it. You know what I mean?
It's alpha
or
beta. Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
exactly. So, what pace do you guys intend on keeping, like, as far as how often you guys are going to update it?
As I mean, in terms of like our current website, it's not up to our standards, but we've self-financed this to a point where we had to, you know, it does the job right now. But basically every time we publish a feature, we'll be updating stuff, and we actually we want to be able to publish updates bi-weekly or more. But it's you have to be realistic. It's a business. We need money, we need funding, we need revenue streams. So the answer to your question is variable. It could be every 2 weeks, it could be once every 6 months. It just depends how the future goes for us. And we do want to listen to our community. That's why we published the MVP music player, is because we want feedback. We want user experience so that we can push updates that make it more user friendly, because you're not going to get adoption without being optimized for the end user experience. And I mean, that's our goal is make the best experience for the users and musicians.
And we don't want to call it FUD. We call it feedback, understanding, and demand. So we need a demand, which you guys, and we need the understanding between both of us. And we need your feedback. I was gonna say we need your feedback because we do. But I think it's important. People think FUD is bad, but it's not. I think it's a communication between the customer or the consumer and then the business that's trying to, feed that demand. You see what I did there? Pretty sneaky, huh? So I think our goal with all this stuff is just to provide a platform and empower the independent musician in a very unique way. And I think it's very cool that we're probably the first ones to do it on Cardano, to have an MVP out. And I don't think anyone's trying to do the things we're trying to do, which is okay. It may be a little insane, but we're passionate about the people of Cardano, and I'm passionate about music and what it can do. So sorry to cut you off, Quinn, but yeah, you wanna can we do some closing remarks and talk about Project Catalyst proposals and where they can find us?
Yeah, man. I mean, well, we've already talked about the Project Catalyst, but you guys can find us on Twitter. Our name is @Soundrig NFT.
Yep.
And we have all the information actually on our website. If you go to soundrig.io/catalyst, we've updated our proposals based on feedback. Yep. And you have the links to where you need to vote directly at the top of the page, and all of our information. We have some really detailed proposals. I mean, you can find out more about our team members. You can find out about our budget based off of all of the quotes we've had from our developers, and our roadmap, what we deem as being successful for each proposal, just everything. I mean, we tried to really give a really solid idea of why we're asking for X amount of money and what we will do with it and what Soundrig is and where the future is at for us.
Okay. Actually, you guys, if you guys want to check out Soundrig, I actually have it pinned up in the chat. Their actual website is pinned up there in the chat. You guys are interested in going to their website, checking out their Catalyst proposal and everything they got coming up, just click the link, and then you can go there and read everything there on the website. But yeah, before we get out of here, Quentin, do you have any shout outs or anybody you want to thank before we wrap it up?
I mean, the people we've been working with in the Web3 community, I mean, projects that we're going to be working with and are really pumped to work with are people like Cardano Proxies, Bad Fox Motor Club, the music community that's developing. So you got the Listening Room, CNFT Audio, and even the other music projects, because we're all doing stuff that's Vic, you're echoing. We're all doing stuff that's going to be for the better of the community. So I mean, you got Firebird, you got Noom, you got Demu, you got Future Fest. I mean, I don't even know specifically. I mean, some of the biggest artists who've supported us, Nito, Capricorns, Theoscape, Disguise, Kid Juice. Yeah, there's so many you can't even name them. And of course, dude, you. Big shout out to you for giving us this opportunity and actually working with us. And 40-20
40-42.
Shit, yeah.
He said 40-20.
at Bad Fox Motor Club to get an album together, and we're really looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. And I mean, yeah, man, I'm just everyone shouting out the music community, really. Yeah,
definitely. Hey, Vic, you have any shout outs before we wrap it up?
Hey, get your ass to CNFT Con if you're not coming there. We have an amazing show at CNFT Con. Us at Soundrig are super excited to be a part of it because I'm a part of it. Important the stage. So basically, we're excited for it. And come there. We have a kickoff party. About to release details of that. We have some amazing artists that you guys already recognize for the kickoff party on October 7th from 7 p.m. to midnight. And then on Saturday all day, we have music stage. Obviously, we have Dale there, but we also have some more people that are going to be signing on. So come out there as well, too, if you guys are big fans of your favorite NT project. So come out there. Soundrig will be there in full force because we are going to be helping coordinate the stage. And then as well, we'll have some more. I think there's an after party by Clay Nation on Saturday night. And obviously, Soundrig's going to be there as well, too, because I am on the stage as well. I've been working in the background as well, and so all the music stuff at CNFT Con, Soundrig is really deep in it, and most people don't know that, but that's okay. You'll find out when you get there.
Great. Hey, I like that alpha. That's some great alpha. Alpha. But yeah, man. I want to shout you guys out. Thank you guys for coming to the channel. Shout out to you, Quentin and Vic, and the rest of the team as well, man. I definitely appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Major shout out to Soundrig. I'm very excited about the partnership with Bad Fox Motorcycle Club in 4042. I'm just hyped, man. Pumped for CNFT Con, getting on the stage. Yeah, man. I'm just ready, man. I'm ready to take off, man. I'm ready for this CNFT music, just music in Web 3.0 period to just take off to another level, man. Especially when you start thinking about the crazy things that Clay Nation are doing, with their, festival ideas and, the metaverse. It's pretty much, it seems like everything's centered around music, man, honestly, when you really think about it. So I'm very excited. And I want to thank you guys for coming to the channel. And with that being said, this is your boy Awesomeisjayell, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse, and we are signing off.